I'm angry, but I'm not surprised either. I got a call from not the nurse that did my appointment, but the other girl, the one that, seems to be good at finding follicles and ovaries and things. And I totally knew it. I said, look, okay, here's what's going on. It's October 10th, and yesterday I woke up to 97.7, and to me that is borderline, that's a normal basal body temperature when I'm on my period, and can be right before ovulation also. This morning it was 97.8, and I knew that was an ovulation temperature for me. So I knew that I ovulated. So anyway, I called to see if I could come in earlier instead of Wednesday, to come in at, on Tuesday morning, which is today, to make sure that the follicle was still there, or that there were follicles still there, and if I should be triggering today. And, because my progesterone was actually rising, last Friday it was a 1.8 or something like that. So it's like, anyway. So the nurse calls me to say, yeah, according to your blood work from today, it looks like you ovulated. And I'm like, yeah, I'm irritated and upset that they were wrong. And I knew that, I know from the past that my follicles grow very fast, and, and then I think the letrozole might have made it grow way, way, way fast, I started on cycle day 2, and by cycle day 5, being a 17, I can say that could have been the letrozole right there. I said, so the letrozole's not doing me any favors. She said, nope. Upping the dose only made things worse. So I'm never going to take letrozole ever again. My body, even though it's shutting down, is still natural is always the best for my body, and not trying to take something like letrozole to make the follicles, I don't know why I even was on it, because I don't have a problem with my follicles growing. It was more of just wanting to boost everything, and then boost ovulation, and be aware of ovulation, so that I could buy the sperm at the right time, instead of buying and inseminating when I think I'm surging, because that's always positive. I'm always going to have a positive, I'm always going to have matching lines pretty much. But, when is my surge really happening? When, it's like my body's trying to surge, and I've got positive ovulation tests when my follicle's not yet ready to come out. I buy the sperm, and then by the time I ovulate, the sperm are dead, so that's kind of the issue, really. That's the number one reason why I was doing these appointments to begin with, because I needed the ultrasounds to keep up with the follicles, to know what was happening, so that I would know when to buy that sperm. That's basically, So letrozole was a huge, huge mistake, and upping the dose was even a bigger mistake. And I've ovulated, and I'm producing progesterone, and the egg is in my fallopian tube rotting. So I have to call the donor and tell him I don't need him anymore. And I just wanted one last try before embryo adoption, and this cycle is totally botched, and I knew it was going to be botched. I knew that it was a wreck. So I'm having some thoughts. I'm not going to be able to do the embryo transfer at the start of, so in 2 weeks I will start my period, or sooner, and that next cycle starts. I will, I will get everything in motion for the embryo adoption, but I will probably, if I have the money, do one last insemination without the interference of these people, because I basically ovulated on my normal day, like cycle day 12. This cycle was pretty much actually normal as far as my days of when I surge and when I ovulate. My LH was not very high on Friday, which is when they checked it, but obviously it grew, and I forgot I was going to take a LH strip today just for fun to see what it was and then see what my level was. I'll look at my labs right now, and then I'll share them with you. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm going based off of the phone call that I had just now. It's my lunch break, so I'll look at the results, and then I will get back on here and tell you what they are. And she goes, yeah, sometimes it just takes a couple cycles to figure out you. And I said, I don't have that kind of time or money. Like I get it, but we did these ultrasounds and all this blood work and everything so that we wouldn't be shooting in the dark. And what did we do? We did nothing but we started screwing around, and we were taking shots in the dark. And the whole point of ultrasounds and blood work and all this crap was so that we wouldn't make stupid mistakes, and we did anyway. So if you can tell, I'm very angry and ticked off. So anyway, reeling it in here. I will look at those results, and then I will let you know what they are, and that's all I can do. That's all I can do. So and the thing is, I knew this was going to happen. I knew last week that this cycle was botched. I knew it. They're like, oh, it's a cyst. It can't be that big that early on and be an egg. And now she did say that it shouldn't be a healthy egg if it's that big that early. But she doesn't know that. I mean, in her experience and her studies of years and years of study, yes, you can say, oh, well, most likely it was not an egg. But honestly, only God knows if that was a normal, healthy egg or not. So, whatever. We just do the best we can, and we move on, and we fall down, and we pick ourselves back up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to have a good day today. And it's Tuesday. So anyway, I'll check those results, and I'll get back in just a second here. All right, so I looked at my results, and I wrote them down here. My lining was a 3.8, which is terrible. But when I ovulated and triggered last time, it was low like that too. And so she put me on estrogen supplements to increase my lining, after ovulation. So that wasn't, that's not an indicator that, that I'm not going to have a follicle, or, it's not good lining, but there's time to build that up with estrogen supplementation after ovulation. And she said that so my estrogen was a 26, and that's without supplementation. And so she says they wanted it 100. Well, when I was on the E2 supplement, it was 100. It was like 116 or something like that. So that did work for me, taking the estrogen supplement. And then my LH, obviously I peaked 2 days ago. And it is going down now. It's still high though, at 25.64. So still elevated and slightly down. So obviously it was probably in the 40s 2 days ago. And my progesterone. So this morning I took my basal body temperature, and it was 97.8. And I know that that is an ovulation temperature for me. And if you've never taken your BBT and you don't know how to do it, please watch the pre-mom video and learn how to do it, because You know, when you accurately take your basal body temperature, there are no surprises. And that's why I'm not surprised that I ovulated. So I knew this morning that I had already ovulated. This was not a shock. This was not, you know, this did not blow me away today. You know, and it was 97.7 yesterday, so I suspected that something had happened yesterday. Or the night before. Let's see, when did my burning happen? Anyway, I was, okay. And I knew something was up yesterday at 97.7, and so I probably ovulated Sunday night sometime, or in the middle of the night at some point. But yeah, I mean, I had burning sensation. I believe it was in the morning of yesterday morning, so it could have been, I could have been in the process of ovulation, and then it happened while I was at work yesterday. Anyway, my progesterone is 3.5, which is an ovulation number. That is a number you get after you ovulate. So I ovulated a follicle that they were calling a cyst, and I'm out. So no chance of getting sperm. The egg's probably already gone, dead. So, you know, like I said, I had ovulation pain yesterday morning at work, and I was suspicious that it was ovulation yesterday. So where do we go from here? I do not get to inseminate, trigger, or do anything this cycle. It is completely over and totally botched. Basically, they were wrong. They goofed up, and I'm sitting here with nothing. You know, they do, they show ultrasound. They have an ultrasound lab result also, and they show measurements of your uterus and everything. And for each ovary, 0. You know, because she showed me where the corpus luteum was in the, where that follicle had, she goes, that where that cyst burst. She goes, it looks like your cyst has burst, and this is it right here. And she showed it to me, and and it was just like this big round circle, and it was filled in with a coarser type shading, which is the corpus luteum, and all the other little follicles are dead and disintegrated, because after you ovulate, all the other follicles die off. And that's why there were no other follicles in either ovary. They were gone because I ovulated. I'm very upset. I might have them scan me twice next cycle, and I will do it completely natural. I will buy a cheap $8 box of ovulation tests, and I will just, because I can't start the IVF next cycle. It's too soon. So I can't even start in 2 weeks when my period starts. It's too soon. I have to coordinate. I'm going to have to coordinate the delivery of the embryo and any paperwork that needs to be filled out. I almost feel like there is none. I don't know. Somebody was like, well, you have to go through counseling and all this, everything. I don't think so. I don't know. I'll find out. I think somebody made a comment about CNY is not too discriminatory, where, that's why it's easier to, to get, stuff done with them, because they are not discriminatory, whereas other clinics are. And it is so true, at least with my experience. There's some definite discrimination going on in some of the other clinics. I hearted all your comments, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I am struggling with some depression here. So, I will pick back up, and I will be happy again tomorrow. This is real life. This is real life. I'm not gonna pretend that I don't feel ticked off. I'm trying not to say bad words here. So, but I appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate your support. And even though I I just hearted all of your comments. Boy, did you guys say some nice things to me. I really appreciate some of the love and support. And so I did start a GoFundMe, recommended by a lot of you. You told me to do it, and I was able to buy a couple vials of frozen sperm 2 years ago because of you all, and you guys were just amazing, and you helped me buy frozen sperm, and it was incredible. I do have a GoFundMe. I'll put it in the description. You know, I'm going to save up the money. I'm probably going to do one last insemination, completely natural. I can't blame the doctors. This is not the doctor's fault. It's the nurse's fault, basically. But I don't, you know what the thing is though, I totally understand why they were persistent on it being a cyst, and you don't want to trigger a cyst. And hindsight is always 20/20. I'm not giving them excuses. I'm not making excuses for them, but I will say this. How many times do we say, oh, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. You should have just bought sperm anyway, and blah, 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 blah. Hindsight is always perfect vision. We always have perfect vision after the fact. And now I can sit and say, dang, and I should have had him ship on Friday. I should have inseminated on Saturday, and I'd have ovulated on Sunday or Monday morning. So that's kind of what's playing around in my mind right now, and I have to stop and not do that. And anyway, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome, and I cannot believe the wonderful things you've said to me, and I hold on to that. It's amazing to me how many of you can relate to this, and it's amazing to me how many of you can relate to this because you're going through it too. So I am not alone in this, and I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I can't even tell you how much. I will let you know what happens. You know, I'm basically in my 2-week wait now to start my period. So I've got, you know, maybe 9 days, who knows. Maybe my progesterone will tank early, and I'll start early. So anyway, I can't even adjust my chair. All right. Well, I will see you guys in the next video, and we'll go from there, and everything will be okay. It will. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.